You're going to find that GIMP is a very powerful piece of image manipulation software that's capable of creating great digital art. But for the purposes of this demo, I'm going to keep it to what most online instructors need a piece of image manipulation software to do for them, which is to reformat and resize either images from the net or photographs. And what I have here is a student's drawing, a really great one, taken directly from a sketchbook. And I'm going to take that through my reformatting and resizing process. So the first thing I need to deal with is the orientation. And I can move right up to Image and Transform. And of course this has got a great rotating tool. So I can take it in the direction that I need to take it. And voila, I've already got something a little bit easier to work with. The next thing I would really need to do is to cut this down to a size that I can work with. Now if the image were crooked, I could easily go in and I can move that. There is a perspective tool which I could use as well, but this is oriented properly, so all I need to do right now is go in and pick my selecting tool and then create the new picture frame that I want around this drawing, and then I can go into Image and crop to selection. So now I've got something a lot more user-friendly, that where my students will now be focusing less on the context of the piece and much more on the drawing technique itself. I do think it's a little bit on the dark side though, so something I often use the GIMP for is to brighten while keeping the contrast, so not losing any of the detail. And you can go straight into color, into brightness and contrast, where you can manipulate it without dealing with the color itself. And you can see, as I use this tool, I can actually turn this into something that looks a little bit more like one would expect a drawing to look like in a textbook. I can play with it, go back and forth, really kind of like the way that looks. Let's go with that for the purposes of this demo. So now I've got a really good looking drawing which I can easily use on a Blackboard page at this point, with two large exceptions. The first is its size. So as I'm looking at this, check that out. This is only 18%. So if I were to look at this at 100%, you can see there's a tremendous amount of detail there, but that's not so usable for me. So one thing that's great about GIMP is that you can go in and very easily scale an image. And you can choose whether you want to go with pixel or percentage. I usually have a size that I'm working with. In this particular case, I want a height of, let's say, 600 pixels, a much more workable size. If I click in this box, it'll keep the aspect ratio. Now that's a nice big image where my students will be able to see the detail, but it will also come up on a single page. Alright, so the last thing that I'm going to want to do here is, this is in a PNG file, and I want to use a JPG, a JPEG. So when I go to save it, I'll go Save As, and select a different file extension, in this case a JPEG. Go ahead and save that. It'll ask me the quality. I always go with 100%. And there you go. This thing is now on my desktop. Let me just bring it over. I have now got a JPEG which I can easily upload into Blackboard and manipulate.